Well, our New York tour begins at Grand Central Station, one of the iconic landmarks of New York City. And here we are about to embark on a bus trip in Manhattan, going down towards Staten Island, with the idea to get what's called one of the cheapest dates in New York City, a trip on the Staten Island ferry to see the Statue of Liberty. But anyway, let's see what happens. The 13-foot clock in front of the station contains the world's largest example of Tiffany glass. The terminal has 44 platforms, all of which are underground, and was completed in 1913 after 10 years' work. The station is in 42nd Street and Park Avenue, Midtown Manhattan. Here you can see the Chrysler Building, one of the world's finest examples of Art Deco construction. Our plan was to spend a late morning and full afternoon in Manhattan. This meant being selective with the attractions we wanted to see. The New York Public Library was adjacent to our Staten Island ferry bus. Bus and subway rides cost $2.75, or you can buy a MetroCard for multiple rides and a discounted fare. You can request a transfer, which is good for up to 2 hours. Buses take much longer, but are a good way to see the city at street level. You can take guided bus tours, but you have to queue for them and they are expensive. Researching your route online and printing out notes to read is a good alternative. Staten Island Ferry has been free since 1997 and is paid for by New York City taxpayers, estimated at a cost of around $6 per passenger ride. About 23 million people use the service annually. Here we are going through security before boarding the ferry, at which point I was told to put my video recorder away. Ellis Island was the U.S.'s busiest immigration center. 12 million immigrants passed through the halls from 1892 to 1954, when it closed. Next to Ellis Island is Liberty Island, home of the Statue of Liberty. Most tourists take the Staten Island ferry just to see the statue. There are tours that need to be booked in advance to visit the island and to go into and up the statue. We'll take a closer look on the way back. The Verrazano Narrows Bridge links Staten Island with Brooklyn. It was completed in 1964 and is the U.S.'s longest suspension bridge. Staten Island is inhabited by about 500,000 people and is the third largest borough in New York City. Most tourists take the ferry, disembark, and return straight back to Manhattan, which, owing to time constraints, is exactly what we did. It can be quite chilly with the wind factor on the outside deck of the ferry. Here we see another ferry coming from Manhattan to Staten Island. The ferries leave every 30 minutes during the day, and in Manhattan leave from the Whitehall Ferry Terminal, which we showed earlier. As you return from Staten Island, you can see Jersey City on the left and Manhattan on the right. Another look at the Statue of Liberty, which is very easy on the eye. And a great cityscape off Lower Manhattan. New York has its own city bike service, which is another way to get around the city. The bike share program has 10,000 bikes and 600 stations across Manhattan, Jersey City, Brooklyn, and Queens. Onto the subway for our trip to Central Park and the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Central Park is about 2.5 miles long, running from 59th Street to 110th Street and a half a mile wide between 5th Avenue and Central Park West. It is the country's first urban landscape park and features loads of activities. You can go to the zoo, lie down by a small lake, gaze into the distance at one of the amazing Manhattan skyline views, and depending on the time of year you are there, go ice skating or watch a film outdoors or a performance of Shakespeare. It is one of the world's greatest city parks, and no trip to New York City is complete without visiting it. You can go to centralpark.com to see what they are advertising, what specials are on, what events are on. It all varies depending on the time of year. Because of our limitations and time constraints, we focused on the Upper East Side around the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Yes. Is it a special New York dance? Looks like you're listening to rap. How tasty, yes!
These people were distinctly underwhelmed by the sculptures of the bears. The museum had a Rodin and a Michelangelo exhibition while we were there. We saw another of Rodin's renditions of his thinker sculpture and numerous Michelangelo sketches and drawings. A great showing of the master painters through the ages are regulars on the museum's walls. Admission is however much you can afford. The Met suggested admission is $25, but it is only that, a suggestion.